All right, welcome to the Sports Guyz weekend recap for August 4th, 2025. We're going to bring some really great stories to you guys this week. We did not get to come to you last Monday, but this week we have a lot of good stuff teed up. Robbie, how you doing?
Doing really well. We had a good time at the beach. It was really good hanging out with you. There's a lot of good sports recently, and there's just something so exciting about football coming.
There is.
It started to take shape slowly, and I'm just pumped. There's nothing better than football on the horizon.
You know, speaking of that, I was looking at the schedule, and we know it's only preseason, but I mean, for those of us who haven't had football for almost 7 months, there's nothing like it. We had the one game last week, and then I look at the schedule this week. We've got 3 games Thursday night,
Yeah,
3 games Friday night, 9 games Saturday, and like 4 games Sunday. I
I
was
know.
like, we have
It's
4
nonstop.
days in a row, including Sunday night football. So it's just, if you want to watch football, it's going to be on essentially from Thursday until about mid-February.
I saw that lineup. Did you happen to catch how much of that's going to be on TV?
Almost all of it. It's either on
Right.
Amazon Prime or it's on CBS or NBC or NFL Network. Speaking of NFL Network, we had some interesting news today. ESPN is buying NFL Network. So that's
Oh,
really
wow.
interesting. They're making
Yeah.
a huge play to get fully into the NFL games. They're going to control a lot more of the broadcasting. Of course, ESPN is kind of shut out of NFL right now, other than their pregame shows. So this brings them back into the game of actually broadcasting real games. Mostly they have college football rights right now. So what do you think about that, about the pairing of NFL Network and ESPN? You think that's a good marriage? Or
I think so. I think they're in the business of the biggest news stories related to sports and entertainment.
Mhm.
And football is such an entertainment vehicle that it's logical that they would want to get their hands on it. And
Mhm.
you know that when they've been out of the game for a year, they want back in. They want to be reconnected. So
I think they're tired of like doing their pregame shows and then they have to hand it over to football, which is always on another channel. You know
and
what I
they
mean?
turn it over
So,
to bowling, like, and
yeah,
now bowling. Like,
right. Yeah. So it's interesting to see them get back in the game.
yeah.
I think they realized that they were out of the game for a while and that college football is fantastic, but the NFL is the shield. So,
And there's nothing wrong with bowling, but
yeah,
if you
that's right.
just covered how amazing this matchup between Kansas City and New England's going to be, and then now take it away badminton. like,
Any
uh,
other big stories hit you this past week?
it's interesting to watch the baseball shaping up. Some teams are making moves. How about the Miami Marlins
Hmm.
uh, sweeping the Yankees? Um, not too much. I was very interested in the Speedway Classic, the
Hmm.
Bristol um, race stadium, that
Hmm.
NASCAR stadium, that they set up an infield with a baseball diamond, and they had 91,000 people there, and
Hmm.
it got rained out. So it was a cool idea. It didn't work out well, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a brilliant strategy. Trying
What a
to have
cool idea to bring baseball to different locations. Like I know Nashville's on the final list
yeah,
for possible expansion, and
yeah.
so great idea to do that. And plus, you get that whole Southern Virginia area that doesn't really have a team.
Right. You can look at that and say, man, that didn't really work out. Or you can say, what a great idea. Let's shoot for that again, and next time it'll work,
Hmm.
because the weather was
Okay,
dreadful and really impacted it.
lots of big stories out of training camp. We're going to go through all of them, but some of the big ones. Justin Fields' injury was not serious. He was back on the practice field,
Mhm.
and he looks like he's going to be good to go. That was really a relief for the Jets fans because, obviously they've got a new coaching staff. And they have a lot of hope. So you have that situation. You have a situation where Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers' offense is really struggling. Matter of fact, they can barely complete a pass against this smothering defense that Pittsburgh has.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of concern there that there was all this offensive talent brought in, and yet a lot of them are over 30 or mid 30s, and it looks like they can't get off the ball against a lot of these young guys. Um, so
I
there's
think I think we'll see. I think that some of the biggest stories in the NFL right now are holdouts and contract problems. There's two major ones, but there's other ones too, and I think that always adds a lot of intrigue.
mhm.
But it's
And
It'll
then
work
you have
itself out. And I think a lot of these camp problems where quarterbacks don't look good or don't look sharp or keep missing people, that really is the making of the sausage. I mean, you don't want to watch it yet, really, unless you can handle the ups and downs of people missing a lot of targets and quarterbacks not seeming to be as sharp as they should be. The rustiness is real, and it wears off, and it comes through repetition, and everyone looks a lot sharper in about a month or two from now. So
Kevin Stefanski brought out his QB depth chart today. Everybody was waiting for that for a long time. He released it this morning, and he's got Joe Flacco as QB1, and indicated that unless something really surprising happens the next 3 weeks, that he's probably going to be starting on week 1 kickoff Sunday. So that's kind of interesting for people. He's got Kenny Pickett 2. He's got Dylan Gabriel 3 and Shedeur Sanders 4. And he's indicated that Kenny Pickett's injury may carry into the early part of the season. So you might have a situation Dylan Gabriel is the backup. So that's pretty interesting to see.
I think it's all real close, though. I think if a player were to stand out, I think a couple practices in a row, put together some work that really makes them separate a little, they could move up that chart pretty easily. I don't think it's entrenched.
He was actually very positive about it when he announced it today. He said, "Look, I've got an embarrassment of riches at quarterback, more than we've ever had before." And he said, I feel very confident all these guys know the playbook now, having worked through OTAs in summer and a week and a half of training camp. So we'll see. We'll see if any of those guys really are difference makers, though. I mean, this is a team that won 3 games last year. So
I think what it is they really want Flacco to go in there for part of the season, Kenny Pickett to come in and kind of take over, and they want to build up one of those 2 guys, Gabriel or Sanders. I don't think they want to take on 2 projects. So one of those guys is going to beat the other one out and become the quarterback of the future within a year or 2.
Another interesting thing, the Giants came out with their depth chart. They announced that Russell Wilson's going to start. Jackson Dart's going to back him up. But that Jackson Dart, they're planning to give him significant playing time this year, which I thought was a really unusual thing for them to say when you have a veteran guy on your roster, for them to essentially say, we're going to be playing Jackson Dart at some point. So
I think veteran quarterbacks, you just really have to plan for injury. And therefore, you don't want to tell the team that we're toast if our quarterback goes down. You want to build some confidence where, hey, we have depth at every position group, especially the important ones and quarterback. So,
but I think he's going to also have a quick hook with Wilson. Like if Wilson's having a really horrific game, has 3 picks in the first half or something, he's going to have a quick hook, I think, and try to give Jackson some playing time. That's what it feels like. The other thing he said was really interesting. I caught this one immediately. He said that Abdul Carter is so good that he's probably their best pass rusher. And you have to remember, in the offseason, they got Brian Burns, who was the best pass rusher on the Panthers last year. He's essentially saying Abdul Carter is better than Brian Burns. And they have another veteran pass rusher who had 9 sacks last year. So he's basically saying he's better than both of those guys. So he's got 3 all-pro level pass rushers on the Giants.
They always have defensive ends and stuff.
But I don't know. Is that going to light a fire under Burns? Because this is
maybe
the Giants. We'll see.
Yeah.
So a lot of great stories come out of the NFL, and we'll get to all those in this broadcast. We also want to give an update on the LeBron situation, so we'll talk about that. And then we are 3 weeks away from the kickoff of the college football season, and we're going to be having a great episode coming up in a couple days. We're going to be talking about the college football season preview, so be looking for that. Let's go ahead and dive into the material for tonight. All right, let's take a moment to do a shout out to our sponsor for tonight, and that is Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is our favorite sub shop. As a matter of fact, I just finished half a number 13 sandwich, and I had the other half last night. So always delighted when I get to have my favorite, which is the original Italian. Robbie, how much do you guys like Jersey Mike's?
Absolutely love it. We came back from the beach last night, and boys were really hungry. And so they wanted to stop at their favorite fast food place, even though we get Jersey Mike's all the time. And I just wasn't in the mood. So I found a Jersey Mike's and had my number 17. And I was so pumped. It was good. It was perfect. After a day at the beach, you're hungry and you want something a little healthier. And, we have one fast food restaurant that we go to sometimes, but we kind of, man, Jersey Mike's, you can't beat it. It's really good. It's great ingredients, hot, they're friendly, and it's affordable, and we're just so full. It's the best.
It's so fresh. The service is so good. They're on time. I love that they make it right in front of you. They ask you what you want on it. So, guys, tonight, go check out jerseymikes.com or check out the Jersey Mike's app or order from DoorDash or Uber Eats or one of them. Or go to your local store. There should be one fairly close to where you live, and check out a sub today.
And remember, we're really proud to partner with them, and it is a sub above.
It's a sub above. Have a good night. This is our August 4th recap. NFL ramps up. We are really close now to the regular season. We're going to have 3 preseason games. Then we have a week off, and then we're right into it. Another thing it reminded me of, Robbie, is every year our family fantasy league gets going, and the fantasy league has already been auto-generated. So I'm going to be sending out an invite here this week to our draft, which will be coming up in about 3 weeks as well. So really excited about getting into our fantasy league this year.
Love it.
So let's talk about training camp. Some of the big names you see here. You got the Josh Allen, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Tua. You have a great cover of the new Madden 26 game, which just came out. We're going to be going through some of the Madden 26 rankings they gave some of the players. We're going to go through those tonight. Then you have the 3 major holdouts Rob was talking about. You got Terry McLaurin, who had waited and waited and waited for his deal all summer and basically has now given up on the Commanders, or at least says he is, and wants a trade. And then you have Micah Parsons, same thing. After attending the Super Bowl in February with Jerry Jones and sitting in the box with him, and they were palling around and acting real friendly. His frustration level got to a boiling point last week. Now he's demanding a trade. And James Cook is holding out. He's not demanding a trade. He wants to remain with the Bills, but he doesn't believe he's being compensated anywhere close to what he should be getting. He wants somewhere in the 15 to 16 million a year range for a running back, and believes that he's worth it and that he's the engine that could for the Bills. So any thoughts about any of these big stories?
Well, to summarize it, I think Terry McLaurin has done so much in Washington for so long that he deserves to get compensated. And Micah, everyone's saying that Micah is really the biggest loss if you weren't able to re-sign him. But I don't know. I think that he's a monster pass rusher. But he is, you can run at him. He's not an incredibly stout defensive lineman for the run. So to me personally, I think Terry McLaurin is the most important player out of these 3 to their team. Mm-hmm. But Cook has proven he takes a lot of pressure off Allen. So obviously all 3 should be re-signed.
The Bills are nowhere close to the team without James Cook on the field. I mean, they're just a much better team with him on the field. He's become a weapon out of the backfield, too. So,
right.
If I were to say the least important piece of these 3 would probably be Micah, but I will say that pass rushers in the top 3 most important positions in the NFL. Anytime you can find a bona fide guy who's a game record, which he is, I mean, obviously he's very important as well. So we'll get into later in the details behind all 3 of these, and we're going to get kind of your discussion, your prediction, Rob, on if these guys are going to remain with their clubs and if this is just, negotiation, or if this really is a serious break that's going to happen. So we'll get into that. So in terms of the top 3 guys up there, the reason I got them lined up together, a lot of the analysts are looking at the NFL say these 3 guys are the guys that have the most to prove this year of all the quarterbacks. And the reason being that if not now, when? You've got Allen and Lamar have been knocking on the door for 3 or 4 years, and the Chiefs are always in their way. And in some ways, they're both in each other's way. So you really have to see which of these guys is going to finally break through and actually make it to the Super Bowl and actually win a Super Bowl. And in terms of Tua, he's in a prove-it year from a standpoint of his own career. Can he stay healthy? Can he not have a really scary concussion? And then finally, can his coach survive? And his coach is very much, in a prove-it year this year. If they, are below 500, or if they have an abysmal record, then he could potentially be out the door. And that would be true for the Bills too. So
yeah, I mean, each one of these guys is trying to prove something different. Josh Allen, last year at the beginning of the year, he really had a lot of no names on offense around him. I was ridiculing that he was going to throw to himself. Turns out that they got a lot of good rookies and they got some players around him. And what I'm hearing,
two really good tight ends.
Keon Coleman looks amazing. So there's really no excuses because they have a decent defense and their offense is really hard to stop with Josh Allen at the helm. You got Lamar Jackson. A lot of people think the Ravens are the most loaded team in the NFL. If not one, they might be two, right behind the Eagles, somewhere in there,
right.
And the Lions. So, what are the excuses at this point for Lamar? Just keeps missing the big game, doesn't have the big showing. And then Tua, lots and lots of weapons all over the place on offense and no results. Didn't even make the playoffs last year. So lots of things to prove for sure.
And are they going to actually run the ball this year? That's the question. I just don't understand.
That's it. I was hearing an analysis, and basically the Dolphins offense is high explosive, big play reliance. And when they do two deep safeties, you have to run the ball, and they're playing right into the defense's strength by trying to throw it to Tyreek Hill, who's blanketed on every play, instead of using weapons that you have sufficiently. They didn't consistently try to run the ball. They would half-heartedly do it, but really not enough to loosen up a defense. Right. So it's inexcusable play calling for a great set of personnel. And honestly, the Dolphins, the coach should go if he can't get it right this year, because
there's no excuse.
Plenty of players, you'd had some injuries over the years, but it really comes down to the only thing I would say is the amount of injuries they've already had on defense is terrifying.
I saw that.
And so they're into their, 4th and 5th string corners.
But that shouldn't affect their ability to run the ball. I mean, their offensive line should be okay. They've got lots of weapons. The offense
and their entire pass rush with Chop Robinson and Jalen Phillips and Chubb. That's a formidable, nightmarish scenario for an offensive line. And they got to get home. They got to get pressure if those corners have any chance.
So how cool is it that Madden chose this amazing move that I don't think we've ever seen before, where he jumped backwards over a player? And they chose that as their cover this year. I thought that was super cool. I mean, when you watch that highlight live, you just couldn't believe it. It's like magic.
Yeah, it was the most spectacular football play I've ever seen, I think.
It was incredible. So I thought it was super cool that they chose that for their cover this year. Now, the question is the Madden curse going to hold, where every year that somebody appears on Madden, the next year they do terrible? So we'll see. We'll see if the Madden curse comes to play. So another story we're going to talk about tonight is LeBron has given his decision over the weekend. Matter of fact, he gave the decision Saturday night, and we'll talk about that. We don't know if the Lakers are going to honor it, but we will see when we talk about that particular topic. And then finally, the kickoff game is 3 weeks away. The Texas Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes. What an amazing game. Should be one of the
best games of the whole year.
To kick off the season on Fox at noon. I mean, I know what every red-blooded male and female is going to be doing Saturday at noon. That's going to be an unbelievable game. The Texas Longhorns right now are preseason number 1. Ohio State is preseason number 2. So you just can't get a better matchup to open up. And they're being sponsored by Aflac, which I thought was pretty cool. Let's get into some of the training camp update highlights here. So Cleveland Browns are in a four-way quarterback competition. We just reported just this morning that Joe Flacco's 1, Kenny Pickett 2, Gabriel's 3, Shador is 4. And Pickett is going to likely be opening the season on IR and is going to miss a couple weeks. So Gabriel is going to step up into the QB2 role for a while. Any thoughts about this looking like it's going to be the way the Browns open the season?
No surprises. I think when they drafted those guys, Sanders and Gabriel, I think you could foresee that this was how it was going to start unless something strange happened. And it's right down the middle of what you would expect. The only question is who's going to make it, Gabriel or Sanders? That's really what it comes down to. And are one of those two the future quarterback, or are these just projects that may never amount to very much?
A lot of teams keep only 2 players on their active roster, and then they put a third guy on their practice squad. Mm-hmm. So here's the problem. And one of the reasons that a lot of Cleveland reporters are snooping around and thinking that Kenny Pickett isn't really hurt, he's kind of faking it, is because that allows them to put him on IR, and they don't have to make this roster decision right now. Because what you can do is you can put a third quarterback on your roster and you can make him essentially inactive. So you can store, Shador Sanders on your roster for a while. What they're worried about is if they try to put him on the practice squad, he has to clear waivers with all 31 teams. And someone's going to try to pick him up and make him a developmental guy. So maybe. What do you think? You think they're playing some tricks here? Do you think Pickett's really hurt?
No, I think he's really hurt because they don't need to put him on practice squad yet. That's down the road. Mm-hmm. So everyone's on the roster. Everyone's being looked at and evaluated. I think when in doubt, you know what you got in Pickett. Let's rest him. Let's use the extra snaps for Gabriel and Sanders so that we can really see what we got there and see if one of them is clearly better than the other, or if it's just a toss-up. If it's a toss-up, it's probably going to be Dylan Gabriel, and Sanders will get cut.
It's interesting. When you and I did our draft special, wrapping up the draft in April, we said this was going to be the order that they finished in camp, and this is exactly what's happened. And we also said we thought Flacco should start and let these young guys keep coming up and developing. So looks like the Browns are doing it the right way. We'll see. Yeah. So for the LA Rams, Stafford is having a lot of injury problems. He's having back soreness. Matter of fact, tomorrow he's going to see a back specialist in LA. And so they're starting to get to be a little bit more concerned now that he might not be ready for week 1 and that he's not going to get much practice in during training camp.
Here's my concern. Stafford is a very tough quarterback.
Yes, and he takes a lot of beatings.
So it's probably worse than he's letting on, because he wants to be out there. So if he's really seeing specialists and stuff, he's concerned. He's like, I'm not getting enough steam on the ball, or I'm not able to take shots.
So there was a lot of people picking them as kind of their sexy dark horse Super Bowl team, but I mean, they're not going anywhere without Matthew Stafford. Am I right?
I think what's happened is they've become healthy again, whether it's Cooper Kupp or anyone else. So you feel this, they're back, But the truth is, they're kind of old, so they're going to keep having injury issues. Older players have more injuries overall.
They're old on offense, but they're really young on defense.
True. So their defense is probably going to still hang in there, but their offense is getting old, and it's starting to show itself in chronic injuries. And that's the problem. Every year at the beginning of the year, the team's full of veterans who end the year last year injured. You have all this new hopefulness, like, oh, they must be healthy again. And in some cases they are, but guess what's going to happen by week 4, Do
you think a 14-year-old guy who's a veteran, because he's seen it all. I mean, do you think he can miss training camp and be ready for week 1? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right.
For sure.
So he can be, and he can have the timing with Nakua and everything?
Yeah. I mean, they'll want to take lots and lots of reps in practice and do, as much work together as you can. But it's more important that Stafford doesn't start the season really banged up, because you're not going to get better as the year goes on. Normally, you get more and more injured and sore. So this is a terrible timing for soreness. It might be something a little bit overstated, though. It might not be that bad.
They were saying that he probably has taken almost more hits than anybody for a 14-year guy in NFL history. Apparently, he just took so many hits with the Lions that it just builds up over the years. And, he's going to start breaking down now. He's just taken such a beating.
I actually saw that video clips of him when he was a rookie, when he was playing, I think it was Cleveland. Who was he playing against? Cleveland, I think. Anyway, he was running for his life, and then he took that shot, and they came back. He led them back, and they said, "Oh my God, he's coming back in." But when he took that shot, he was mic'd up, and you could hear the groan where it separated his shoulder.
Don't you feel like this is the time of a guy's career when he's taken this kind of beating for 14 years that he starts thinking about retirement? I mean, he's got kids.
No question. No question.
You don't want to be limping the rest of your life.
Your spouse is in your ear. Your kids are saying, "Daddy, I don't want you to be hurt." And the likelihood of you getting hurt when you're a veteran is higher. So, but when you start having chronic back problems, hip, shoulder, it's time to hang it up in the near future.
Yeah, I think so. Giants, Russell Wilson named the starter. We talked about that. And then the other big story out of Giant camp was Abdul Carter. They knew he was going to be good. They had no idea that he's as good as he is. Matter of fact, they said he really could have been the number one pick. He was that good.
Yeah, so he might end up being the best player that came out of this draft.
I cannot wait to watch Abdul Carter play. I think it's going to be really fun.
I saw a picture of him next to a coach or something, and he's so much bigger than the coach. He's an absolute monster.
And maybe the Giants had one of the best drafts. We're going to find out in a couple of years. They might have had just
the problem with them was they had so many needs that even if it was a great draft and they filled some of them, they still have so far to go.
Well, they might have been the worst team in football last year. So
I think they might have been.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to
they scapegoated Daniel Jones. I don't think he was that bad.
So this was interesting. Eagles are really high on two of their draft picks, especially DK and Ayumanan. These two guys have been absolutely fantastic, electric, doing screen popping, eye popping type plays in practice. And so, I mean, the rich just get richer. We know they already draft well, and now they're getting these guys that are looking
Howie Roseman can find them. So I have lots of faith that anytime they let a veteran go, that they're going to go get a good rookie to fill in. And
but Rob, how do they do this every year where they bring guys in and they're like all pro level right out of the gate? Like
value. They know what they're getting in the third round, fourth round. They do their research.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be like Roseman.
Yeah. Talent evaluation is off the chart.
Yeah. And then you wonder why they have the best roster.
Yeah, no, you don't wonder, because it is obvious that Roseman can build that, and he could do that anywhere. So if the Cardinals got a hold of him, he'd probably do it there. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. Tennessee Titans are relying heavily on rookie Cam Ward. They've essentially turned the team over to him. He hasn't played a snap yet, and they're putting a lot of pressure on him that he has to perform. Essentially, their season's going to go where he goes this year.
I'm so excited.
I know you typically don't like that model. We did see it work with Jaden Daniels, but it doesn't work with most. So
I don't love it.
Is he going to be able to perform like Jaden Daniels or like everybody else?
I don't think he's going to have a great year this year, but I think he's going to firmly take command of this team. He already has. I'm reading articles about him showing leadership.
He has good leadership qualities. He does.
He's going into the locker room early every day and staying late, and they're marveling at his work ethic.
Are they going to be a little better?
What they asked him was, "Hey, how come you're working so hard as a rookie? Obviously you need to work hard, but where's this coming from?" And he said, "Look, my dad went to a job at 4:30 in the morning for a job he hated. so I can get in here early for a job I love. And the whole team just went crazy when they heard that. And
That's awesome.
and he said, all of us in this locker room need to get in here earlier and work hard at this sport that we love. And
Do you think the
it
Titans will be?
resonated. People started coming in earlier, and
And that's
it's
leadership qualities. That's leadership.
yes,
He's showing the way. He's showing the way. Do you
no
think the
question.
Titans will be better? And do you think that they might be one of those teams that has a rough start, but gets better and better and better as the season goes on?
I don't have much hope for them this year, but I think they're laying you're going to see a foundation being laid down that is going to be something you
I have a feeling.
revisit a year from now. You look back on this year and say you could see it coming. You could see it
I
coming.
have a feeling they're going to do kind of like the Panthers did last year, where you saw Bryce Young really coming on those last 6 weeks. And
I only have one fear.
Yeah,
I have one fear, and that is the Titans are going to be really potentially could break Ward, and I'm really worried about that.
like the Matthew Stafford his rookie year.
Yeah,
that kind of thing, where you don't have an offensive line. Yeah.
They need to protect him, and I think they have something real special there, and they're really pleased with his leadership and he's dropping dimes. He's really looking good in camp.
Can
So
a young
when you
guy
have a
like that
leader,
learn?
when you have a leader who's a hard worker, who's throwing the ball really well on a bad team, he's definitely your future. So you want to take a big leap into next year in year 2, because you've got 4 years with a rookie quarterback contract to build something up really special around him. And I think I'm nervous that they may not be able to keep him from breaking him psychologically to where he's hearing footsteps.
I hope he learns to throw the ball away and just preserve himself.
Yeah.
He's got to learn to throw the ball away. Yeah.
They need to run the ball. They need to get the ball to the targets quickly, and they need to get him tight end help and lots of blocking.
Speaking of that, the other guy who's been just blowing people away in Titans camp, even people who are from other teams, are talking about Gunnar Helm from Notre Dame, and that he catches everything. They call him Spider-Man. That's his nickname, Spider-Man, because he has the best hands they've ever seen. And they're already whipping out the Travis Kelce. I'm like, come on now, he's a rookie. But
that's beautiful for a rookie quarterback.
How much can this help when Helm and Ward can grow together, both as rookies? That's huge.
So now they need some linemen, a running back, a star wide receiver.
Do you think Gunnar Helm might be the next great tight end potentially, like a Brock Bowers?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Too early to say.
How good is it, though, for a young guy to have a security blanket like that? You can dump it off.
Yeah, you need him on third downs especially.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think they're looking up. Like you said, they're starting to get some pieces.
I think this is the year where they'll look back on a year or two from now and say, that's when you saw it start.
That's true. Another big...
But it's not going to look pretty this year.
Yeah, it's true. Another big headline here, Jackson Dart is drawing positive attention at Giants training camp, with some suggesting he's looking so sharp he could potentially challenge for the starting role sometime during the year.
No starting, but yes, he looks good.
His accuracy has been really great. He's been fitting balls into tight windows, especially on deep balls, which has been really interesting. And he can actually throw the ball further than Wilson can. So, thoughts about Jackson Dart? Are they going to try to work him in whether Wilson gets hurt or not?
No. They need to rest him. He's a big guy, but a project. And I think Wilson's the perfect guy to carry the helm for a while. He's not a great mentor. He's not a great mentor, but he is a good example setter for a quarterback in how to carry himself as a veteran. I think he's gotten rid of a lot of that prima donna stuff.
Although Jackson Dart, hopefully he and Jackson Dart build a relationship where Jackson Dart can actually get some advice from him, because he is a veteran.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he's a better mentor than he was even 2 years ago. He got really humbled in his last couple stops, and I think that he was clearly, in Denver, they took away his private office and all this stuff. They were trying to make him one of the guys. And he realized, man, they're not going to block for me very hard unless I'm one of the guys.
Right.
And so I think he's learned a lot. I think he's going to be a much better mentor for Jackson Dart than he would have been a couple of years ago. But Dart's not going to take his. If you see Dart in there this year, it's because there was an injury.
That's right. The next one is on August 3rd, actually yesterday, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill missed the team stretch on Sunday at training camp. And this happened 2 days after Hill came out to the microphones and publicly stated the importance of being on time for all team practices, including stretches. And he was essentially trying to pull his veteran card and tell all the rookies that they need to be there, and that's really important for team building and team chemistry, and then misses the stretch yesterday. So anything you're reading into that? Why do you think he keeps being inconsistent, erratic?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to downplay it. But Hill has a lot of kids, lots of family, all kinds of distractions. Like, these things happen. It's not excusable, but you can understand it. He's not really a leader, so if he's trying to become the leader role, it's not going to work very well. He needs to put together consistency of being early, working hard, all that.
This is after his quarterback and his coach have been calling him out all summer that he needs to work harder and he needs to be there for the team, and that he's just too inconsistent. He's just not reliable. So I don't know. It's concerning, right?
We'll see. A little bit, nothing major. Nothing major.
I'm not saying it's major, but I don't know. I don't like this if I'm the coaching staff.
No,
this comes out and gives a speech about him.
But he's not a leader in terms of somebody you rely on to set the tone for the team and all this other stuff. He doesn't do that. He's not good at that. He's in trouble sometimes. He gets handcuffed on national television. He speaks out against his team at the end of last year, says I won out. With that speed comes it costs something.
Do you think he can have a big season this year? Can he have a comeback season? I mean, last year was kind of disappointing.
Can he? Sure. But it needs to start with the running game. If they can run the ball, it's going to open up a lot of the throwing lanes. If they abandon the run again, like the last 2 years in a row, I don't think they're going to throw very well. I think it's going to be a season where we have a coaching change and a big turnover.
Is this the kind of situation where his offensive coordinator and his coach need to pull him aside and say, look, Tyreek, you're either all in or you're not. I know you have a lot of kids, but we're in training camp.
Depends on why he was late. I mean, everyone's late sometimes.
Yeah, I get late. He missed the whole
terrible
thing.
Example, but it happens.
Yeah. I don't know.
If he comes in and tells you that his wife fell down the stairs and whatever, and a kid threw up, I don't know, whatever. You don't know what happened. So I don't know what happened. It could be inexcusable. I don't really know, but I'm not that worried about it. He comes with some baggage. That's Tyreek Hill. I mean,
you don't think this hurts team chemistry because they just know what Tyreek's about? I mean, essentially,
they know he cares and he's going to fight like crazy when it all comes down, and it's really going to come down to the team coming together. And I don't think this is all that distracting, to be honest.
So the next one is Carolina's training camp, showcasing some promising performances, particularly from defense and rookie receiver Tet McMillan, who's been just fantastic, catching balls with one hand. There's also a lot of positive reports on veteran Hunter Renfrow, who came out of retirement and has looked really, really great. And then also the cornerback group, they say, has been looking particularly good, breaking up a lot of passes in practice. They also have a rookie kicker in Justin Fitzgerald, and so they are concerned about him and whether he can really step in, but so far he's been pretty consistent. So seeing some nice things in Carolina camp. Any thoughts there?
So I know that their defensive line has been kind of revamped. They got a lot of talent there now. They got Brown back. I know McMillan's looked awesome. They're very excited about Hunter Renfrow coming off last year. He was out all last year. He had a disease of some kind.
Do you like him in the slot for Carolina? He's going to play the slot.
They said he's going to be one of the biggest stories in the NFL this year in terms of comeback. So I think he's great. He's playing really well. He's playing with a freshness. Maybe he benefited greatly from having a year off. and he wants to be out there. And when you get something like football almost taken away from you and you get it back again, maybe it tastes a little sweeter. So,
And he has some of these big time receivers now, which I think can only benefit him because it's going to give him more space, right? I mean, guys are going to be trying to double McMillan. They're going to be trying to double some of the other receivers they've got, their tight ends. And little Renfro can create
and they
space.
run the ball very, very consistently. So they're going to
Chuba.
have to always honor Chuba.
True. We'll see. So some of the contract disputes and holdouts we'll go over tonight. We talked about James Cook with the Bills. Essentially, he's just been sitting out of practice. He doesn't want to trade. He just wants what he's worth, 15 to 16 million a year. Do you think he's going to get it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Do you think the hang up is maybe how many years or something? I think he wanted 4 years. They want 3.
Yeah,
Maybe just down to the last
player
couple of
always
years.
wants long-term longevity. The team always wants they'll pay a little more per year, but they want shorter contracts so that they can get out quicker to make a change in direction. So it usually comes down to those compromises.
And then Commanders, McLaurin, we talked about that. We're going to get into the details of that here in a minute. Is essentially sitting out of camp due to his contract dispute. And it's now saying he wants to be shipped out. And then same thing with Parsons. What's interesting is Parsons is in the last year of his deal right now. So he actually is under contract. He's the only one under contract of these 3. But has been making it clear for 6 months that he wants a new deal. So interesting enough. We'll get into the details there. Some of the other updates we want to talk about here. Chargers have been impressed by rookie Cam Hart and Quentin Johnson, who's in his 3rd season, has been playing really, really well. Hart recorded a big pick 6 in one of their big practices. So Chargers apparently, I didn't know this, but did you know that they came in ranked number 1 in defense last year?
I knew they were 1 or 2, yeah.
And they added a bunch of great defenders. They're going to be a really good defense. They're going to be tough.
They're going to be really tough.
Yeah. Cardinals aren't shying away from the backfield share. They finally have a 2-headed monster. They've been leaning on James Conner for all these years, and now they have Trey Benson from Michigan. So they're gonna be a nice 1-2 tandem in Arizona. What do you think about that? The ability to
I'm always surprised that they're not a little better. They got some nice players in Arizona, but
this is the first time they've really had a 1-2 punch at running back.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
We'll see what happens there. Eagles are noticing Jordan Davis's new wheels. Jordan Davis dropped 26 pounds in the offseason. He was kind of slow last year. And this year he looks really spry and fresh and quicker off the ball, quicker in the backfield. So that's just what everybody needs who's going to play the Eagles this year is another weapon to be in their backfield.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis. So that's going to be fun to watch.
He is a serious run stuffer.
Then you got this guy Loop, who's the new kicker for Baltimore, who's taking over for Justin Tucker, one of the greatest kickers of all time. And he has been absolute money, apparently, in all their inter-squad scrimmages. He hadn't missed yet.
He's hit 11 straight kicks.
Yeah. And he's hitting from 58, 59. I mean, he just in practice. They said this kid's unbelievable. So
yeah, he's doing well.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to miss Tucker if he kicks like this. So, and apparently the fans love the name
Tucker
Loop.
got really confused last year. Like he had a lot of mental issues with no confidence. So as good as Tucker was his whole career, he really ended poorly.
Yeah, it's true. When we have Jeff on the show, I want to ask him about Loop. What he thinks about this kid. So next one here is, look at that amazing catch by DK Metcalf of the Steelers. So they're heading into their first year with the Steelers. DK Metcalf, wide receiver, has very high expectations for the team. He thinks they're going to make a deep playoff run. That's what he said the other day in his press conference. Unfortunately, this week he's dealing with a little bit of back tightness, a little bit like Stafford. So hopefully he gets over that pretty quick. But any thoughts about what he brings to the Steelers offense?
I mean, he's a physical freak. I usually want him on my fantasy team. He's a really good player. He leads because he has an aggression and an edge to him, and that's good leadership qualities. You don't want your quarterback really to have that, but you want some of your other players around him to
He's
have
so
that.
physical and he's so fast. He can go the distance, and
Yeah.
yet he can also blow right through a tackle. Like he's really
Yeah, I
physical.
mean, when he chased down that Cardinal DB who picked that ball, that was one of the most impressive athletic feats I've seen on a football field.
Exactly. He lifts with the linemen. Like he's that strong.
Yeah. But he also runs track, and he's competed in some Olympic trial things.
Right.
He's fast. I mean, he's not quite
Really,
Olympic speed, but he's close.
really a unique athlete they've added to the Steelers there. So we'll see how he does this year. So we have Gabriel now over Shador Sanders in clear order. This has been named in the announcement this morning. Do you think that
We'll
is
see.
because Stefanski likes him better? Do you think that he's just better in practice? They say he's a little more accurate.
I think he's a little more ready for the NFL. So he's a little further along. I don't know necessarily that he's better. I think he probably is better, but I think Shador's going to get a good look, and I think they're going to use the injury to Pickett to free up some snaps and get both these guys some work, so you can really see them side by side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll see. Aaron Rodgers and the four concerns emerging for Steelers in offense in camp. Their offense has really struggled and sputtered, and to the point where they can't even get first downs, and they're having a hard time even completing like an out pattern, just simple things. So some of the things they're worried about: no room to run. Their running game is looking really ineffective. They lost their number one running back from last year, and I'm not sure where they're going to get their running production. So that's a little concern. Their vertical passing game is not in sync. They're missing all their long targets right now. Of course, that could clear up as the season progresses, but real concern about the vertical passing game. The wide receiver 2 connection is missing. He has a pretty good connection with DK Metcalf, but nobody else on the team so far. So they're wondering who that wide receiver 2 is going to be. And then young tackles on the offensive line who are supposed to protect Rodgers are taking their lumps. They're really getting beaten badly by this great defensive line, like getting literally abused. So thoughts about some of these concerns that are starting to emerge for the Steelers and their offense?
I really feel like they feel a lot like the Jets. Like
They do.
It's
like the Jets.
They're a little bit better run Jets.
Yeah.
They have good defense, very, very strong defense with anemic offense, Aaron Rodgers, and no offensive line. And therefore, they're going to have real problems trying to keep him healthy.
What are you going to do with a 40-year-old quarterback who can't run anymore, and your tackles are all rookies and second-year guys?
Yeah, they're going to get whipped a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough. But
and if you can't run the ball, you're in really big trouble. I mean, at least the Jets can run the ball.
Yes and no. I mean, they had Breece Hall, but they don't.
This is concerning. Do you think the Steelers and Arthur Smith, who you see pictured there, he was with the Atlanta Falcons 2 years ago as head coach, but he's a pretty good offensive coordinator. Do you think they can get this turned around by week 1? They're going to be playing the Bengals 1 week, and they're going to be playing Ravens next week. I mean, this is going to be a tough schedule.
It's going to be very tough.
Do you see them making the playoffs?
Not really.
Not
really.
Let's say 8-9, probably. It might be Mike Tomlin's first losing season in 15 seasons.
I think they're 7-10.
They're 7-10. Yeah, that's about right. We'll see what happens. Caleb Williams facing new criticism for missed throws, particularly deep passes early in training camp. He's missing a lot of layups. One specific video clip has gone viral. I was telling you about that earlier today, Robbie, where he was missing easy targets with nets, and not just not hitting the holes, but missing the target altogether in passing drills.
Yeah.
And was kind of getting really down on himself and flailing his arms in the air. Like you said, he's very emotional.
He's an emotional player. That can be a problem with quarterback.
He was acting very immature during that drill. And apparently he's really been getting beaten on by his new coach. So
Yes.
what do you think about this situation in his second year? Can he turn this around? He's looking really kind of not very sharp right now.
He reminds me of a cocky military cadet who is getting sort of beaten down by his drill instructor in order to get built back up again. I think Ben Johnson's a good coach, and he's going to be able to rebuild his psyche in a positive way and get rid of some of this weird prima donna stuff.
So maybe this is the growing pains that is just inevitable in him beating him down.
Yeah. When you beat someone down, it's not pretty. It's not pretty to watch somebody getting checked by a drill instructor or a coach that needs to change the culture. You need to hang on and survive, and then
he's got the talent. He has the talent. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know. Does he though? Like, does he have the talent to do some of the things he does, hanging on to the ball as long as he does? And I don't know about that. He needs to unlearn some things, and then we'll talk about that. I think he needs serious coaching.
Like, I mean, Bryce Young needed Dave Canales. He just did. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to find out if this new marriage is going to be good for Caleb Williams or not.
Remember what Canales did early on. He came in, let Bryce Young play for a few weeks, and then pulled him out and said no more. And he rebuilt him from scratch. And
it was good for him.
It was never personal. It was always like he's not performing well and he's making mistakes and he's doing things that he should know better not to. So we need to start over. And Canales handled that really well. He didn't publicly humiliate Bryce Young, but he did call him out and set a standard.
Very interested to watch Caleb Williams this year in his second year if he can progress like Young did last year and really kind of come into his own. We'll see.
The question is his cup too full, or can he take coaching? That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
So another one here, Falcons offense is experiencing some inconsistencies during camp, particularly with quarterback Michael Penix Jr. and his accuracy and the team's overall red zone efficiency. And there's glimpses of potential there, but Penix is connecting with some receivers and then he's missing wide open ones as well. So same thing with Penix. Do you think he can come along? And he's showing a lot of the type of inconsistency that Caleb Williams is.
Yeah, I think with time and repetitions, it'll look better.
Is he going to be feeling? Is he going to feel Kirk Cousins breathing down his neck though? Because Kirk Cousins obviously would love to have his job back.
Yeah. I think Penix has a bit of a longer leash. You never know. I mean, Tua got pulled. A lot of these guys get pulled and then come back when they're ready and they do well. So, but I think
he throws a beautiful ball. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
I think they're going with Penix and they're going to stay with Penix, and
I think so too.
They're going to have to figure out what they're doing with their
only
quarterback.
way Kirk's going to play is if Penix gets hurt. So.
Maybe.
So Micah Parsons trade request. Let's talk about that. This saga added another dramatic chapter on Friday when he posted on social media his formal trade request from the Cowboys. Though Jerry Jones said Saturday he has no plans to deal the star pass rusher, and he isn't fazed by this request. And then this is essentially what he said in that post. He said, "I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying on line for the organization. I've made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally." Is this a negotiation tactic? Is this personal now? Has he made his decision and can't be talked out of it? What are your thoughts about this very tough situation for the Cowboys?
I think it became personal because it felt like disrespect, but I don't think it's not reversible. Like, I think it could be reversed.
Jones let this happen. It just seems so crazy. He spent a lot of the offseason with him.
He's not a good general manager.
He's just terrible. Like, I saw his whole interview about this process, and he's like, I'm not worried about it. And he just was real
Yeah, he'll get traded if I decide to trade him.
Right.
Wow.
He just doesn't smooth things over at all. He's just not diplomatic at all. Yeah. So another thing here, Micah can request a trade all he wants, but last I checked, he's under contract and he's not going anywhere unless I say so. So that's what he's been getting back from the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that players do not like.
Apparently, he loves Micah, but he hates Micah's agent. I mean, that's what it comes down to. He does not want to work with or talk to Micah's agent. It's really what this is about. He's trying to cut the agent out of the process, which I don't know if that's a really good way to sign the guy. I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
It's not a good situation. So here's some of the top landing spots if he does get traded. Potentially, we got the Patriots, the Chargers, the Packers, the Raiders, the Cardinals, and the Jets. All of those guys could potentially fit him in under a cap situation. Also, this morning, he said on his second post that he really would love to play for the 49ers, that he loves Kyle Shanahan, loves the way he coaches people.
To me, I think you can sign a player like Micah Parsons if your quarterback is on a rookie deal. That's what I think.
Rookie deal, and also you're relatively close. Like you've got a really good roster.
Yeah,
like
so to me, the Cardinals and the Jets make no sense. Green Bay probably doesn't make sense.
Patriots, yes, because they have a rookie.
Chargers don't make sense. Patriots, yeah.
You can see that. Maybe 49ers if they could fit him in. If they could fit him in, 49ers, because Brock Purdy.
How about the Falcons? They could use some help on D. They have a rookie quarterback.
But you have to think Micah's going to try to steer himself towards a good team and not a crappy team, right?
Yeah.
We just know Micah. He wants to compete for rings. So, any feeling about this, where he might end up? Or
I just think Jerry Jones is proving how bad of a GM he is. He's a good owner and a terrible GM.
He may be the worst GM in football.
Maybe.
It's very possible.
Maybe so.
What did they do in the offseason to fix their running game? Nothing.
Listen, he let his 3 stars have their contracts come up at the same time. That's inexcusable.
And if you look at it, he actually mismanaged all 3 of them. He just found a way to get through the first 2, but he's mismanaged all 3 of them.
Yeah.
In many different ways. He
definitely overpaid for Dak.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
He allowed Lamb and Micah to come up at the same time.
So this was the other thing he said, actually mid today. He said, I'm not signing a damn thing unless I'm paid like the game changer I am. Let's be honest, there's no Super Bowl coming to Dallas anytime soon. But if the Bills pick up the phone, I take a pay cut just to chase rings with Josh Allen. What do you think about him saying something like that?
I mean,
basically he's saying Cowboys are not Super Bowl ready. That's what he's saying.
He needs to be careful because...
Which I agree with, by the way.
He might eliminate teams who are like, I don't want that headache,
So he's saying, Bills, come get me.
He needs to be very careful.
He wants to go play with Josh Allen. So I don't know. We'll see how this situation comes out, guys. But my feeling about it, Robbie, is that they'll find a way to get it done. I just think this is negotiating posturing. I really do. I don't think Cowboys are letting it go.
I'm not sure. It's crossed over into the personal, but I do think there's still a business element here that can be worked out. And the agent will work on Micah to get him to relax.
What are the Cowboys going to want for Micah Parsons? 2 number 1s or something crazy?
Probably.
No one's going to pay that. They're not going to do it. To have to pay $40 million a year.
Yeah, it's too much.
I think he's going to stay in Dallas, but I think this is it's kind of an ugly situation. And really, this is the sausage getting made that should happen behind the scenes that nobody really should know about. This shouldn't even be a public thing. So let's go to the Scary Terry trade request. Just breaks my heart because I'm a huge fan of his. He's been the best commander for many years now. McLaurin requested a trade on Thursday from Washington. The Commanders have no intentions of trading him at this time. They've made it very clear they're not going to. So he essentially says he wants a trade that he's given up on the process. They've been trying for 6 months to extend him. He wants to be traded like a top 5 receiver. So here's the question: where will he be playing in Week 1? Are there any teams that you could see him going to potentially?
Oh, there's a lot of teams that could use
Maybe
him.
like the Tennessee Titans to go play with Cam Ward, or
Yeah. I would say anywhere. If you need a big free agent like that, I think you got to have a quarterback under a rookie contract, and you have to have a young quarterback who really needs to develop a good relationship.
Or could he go to Detroit and play on the other side of St. Brown and just make an incredible tandem?
Can Detroit afford him? Probably not.
I don't know. Could he go to Tampa and be on the other side of Evans? I mean, there's a lot of places he can make a big difference. So this was interesting. Commanders and Miami Dolphins have discussed a Tyreek Hill and Terry McLaurin swap, but the Dolphins want a high pick in return in the deal to make it happen. You think something like this might make sense? Give both guys a new place and a fresh start.
Maybe, yeah.
Potentially.
God, can you imagine Jaden Daniels throwing to Tyreek Hill? Wow.
Yeah. So I see, it's funny that he and Micah both said the same thing. I see Sean McDermott treats his players good. I've made catches and earned checks, but I've never held that trophy. If joining Buffalo gets me closer, I'll take less. I don't need the spotlight. I need that ring.
I don't know why everyone thinks Buffalo is the answer. I mean, they're not the best. They're not the top 3 teams in the NFL, I don't think.
All these guys seem to think Buffalo's one player away.
I can't imagine. No. Buffalo's not. They have rookie wide receivers. They have questionable defensive spots.
2 really good tight ends and a good running back.
They have nice pieces. They're close, but they're not. I mean, I'd rather have the Chiefs roster. I'd rather have the Eagles roster. I'd rather have the Lions roster.
Mm-hmm.
I might even want the Vikings roster, depending on JJ.
Would you rather have the Bills roster or the Ravens roster?
Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens. I agree. So
yeah, Bills are about number 5 for me, maybe.
So this chart shows the reason why McLaurin's upset. Okay, you've got Jamar is number 1, Justin number 2, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, St. Brown, Ayuk, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, and Jalen Waddle. All 10 of those guys are paid more than he is. Way more than he is.
2 on the same team.
And so you can kind of understand. I mean, it was interesting. They were saying on FS1 today, and I kind of agree with it. Micah has been essentially under a really good contract his whole career. McLaurin has not. McLaurin has not gotten his big payday yet.
Yeah.
And Micah has been in the top 6 pass rushing in terms of being paid his whole career. And, McLaurin has suffered under these bad Commanders teams year after year, and he's never in the top 10. You can kind of understand it.
Sure.
He wants to be compensated the way he deserves.
I understand all 3. They have different elements to them.
So do you think they should pay him $32 million a year and just be done with it? Just sign him up for 2 or 3 more years? I think so.
Yeah, I think you have to. When you have a rookie quarterback who's not costing you $60 million yet, you have that cap space. You got to use it.
They have a good connection. They had 13 touchdowns last year. They have a really good connection. I think you got to do it.
Yeah.
Or trade for Tyreek Hill. That'd be good too.
Yeah.
So let's look at the Madden 26. You got that great cover there. We're going to look at some of these position rankings. You tell me, Robbie, if you agree with these or not. Let's start with quarterback. They've got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson as 99s. And that picture I showed you earlier is actually the picture of him in the game, which is kind of cool. You got Burrow as a 97, Mahomes 95, and then everybody else is below 90. Stafford, Goff, Herbert, Hurts, Mayfield, and Daniels. When I look at this, I think Daniels is way too low. For him to be an 85 is crazy. I don't know if they're thinking maybe he hadn't proven himself multiple years.
Enough times, yeah.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts about this?
Jaden Daniels above Baker Mayfield for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He can run way better than him.
I think that's pretty close. I would put Burrow above Allen and Lamar Jackson, but I would put Mahomes above him. So it would go Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson.
Okay. Why do you think they went with this 99-99 at the top?
I mean,
What do you think? What was their thinking?
the
By the way,
media.
I've got Jaden Daniels. I'd make him a 90. I'd have him in fifth, Jaden Daniels. He'd be a 90 for me because of his running ability.
The sports media love Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Those are two favorites. So anytime those two guys are at the top, it's not surprising.
Although I don't really have a problem with these four as the top four. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Those are the top four.
I think that's right.
And then it separates a little.
That's right. It's interesting that all four of them are in the AFC. What does that tell you? So here's your top 10 receivers. Jamar Chase and Jefferson are both 99s. St. Brown at 96. That was interesting that he's gone all the way up to third. St. Brown. That's how much respect he's getting now. CeeDee Lamb a 95. Tyreek a 95. McLaurin 94. Evans 93. A.J. Brown 93. Drake London, and then Devontae Adams. So that's your top 10. Any problems with these?
No, I think that's right on, actually. Yeah, it's really close to how I'd put it.
I mean, I think St. Brown earned it last year. He's almost unstoppable. Jefferson and Chase, to me, are the best two receivers. I don't think there's any question about it. And the rest of these guys are all really solid, of course.
Yeah, I think that's closer than the quarterback list.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. This kind of makes me want to play the game now. Check it out. Yeah. We can play it on my Xbox, Robbie. So top 10 pass rushers. This is pretty interesting. Myles Garrett, the clear number one at 99. Micah, 98. TJ Watt, 96. Max Crosby, 96. Nick Bosa, Aiden Hutchinson, Trey Hendrickson, Danielle Hunter, Josh Hines Allen, and then Will Anderson, the second-year guy. He was a really good player last year. Comes up in at number 10. Any problems with this?
That's pretty good. I'd probably move Micah Parsons down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's 2.
I'd rather have Max Crosby.
I'd rather have Aiden Hutchinson.
I'd rather have Nick Bosa.
Yeah. I put Mike in, 5 or 6.
Yeah,
probably
5.
TJ Watt's a great player. I mean, Nick Bosa, Aiden Hutchinson. I'd rather have Aiden Hutchinson than Micah. That's just me.
Yeah, maybe.
He's better than Hendrickson.
I don't know. Hendrickson's pretty effective.
Anybody else here that you think's out of place?
No.
I think Bosa might be a little higher. He's pretty darn good, man.
Yeah, I know.
He's pretty disruptive. So pretty interesting. Guys, drop us a comment. What do you think of these Madden NFL position rankings? If you agree with them or something that you disagree with, let us know. So let's talk about the LeBron decision. It's coming up August 15th. It has to be made by then because the rosters lock in. If there's going to be any kind of trade or anything, it's got to happen before then. Multiple reports are indicating LeBron James over the weekend has said he wants to join the Dallas Mavericks and essentially wants to join them because he wants to chase a ring. And he has announced that this is going to be his final season. Also, he wants to bring Bronny with him. So it's a package deal, him and Bronny. Of course, on that same team or guys that he's played with before and won championships with before. He won a championship in Cleveland with Kyrie Irving, and he won a championship in LA with Anthony Davis. And then, of course, you have the number 1 pick Cooper Flagg on that team. So what are your thoughts about this ask by him of LA management? Could it happen? The complication here is that there's going to be draft capital that has to be given, and also they have to pick up this humongous $60 million salary, which they're not sure they can fit in. Probably going to have to get rid of some pieces.
Yeah, I don't know if Dallas wants the headache in terms of dealing with the Bronny saga. Not really sure why they would do it.
It'd only be a one-year commitment, and the question is does he give you that much better a chance at winning a title or not? I mean, I guess that's the question.
Probably not anymore now that they're load managing him and stuff.
Would you like to have him on your roster during the playoffs next year? That's going to be the question. And are they willing to give up valuable draft pieces? Because they'll probably have to give up multiple picks for 1 year.
Yeah, he's pretty valuable.
And then they're going to have to probably restructure a bunch of contracts to try to make room for $60 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think this could happen?
Could, yes. I don't think it's going to.
I mean, he's basically be an all-star team. If you look at the Mavericks, it'd be like an all-star team. So let's look at his contract right now. He opted into his $52.6 million option. It also includes a no-trade clause, and it gives him a bunch of incentives. He can make up to $62 million if he hits all of his incentives. The Mavericks roster depth, he would have to acquire James, they would have to likely dismantle a significant part of their current roster to match his salary. Lakers recently extended the contract of Luka, signaling a potential shift towards building the team around the younger superstar.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal with Luka's signing, and then all the team was there except for Bronny and LeBron. And then the team all went to Vegas to celebrate and watch the Backstreet Boys in the Sphere. And they've been talking about how it's kind of a big deal that LeBron wasn't there. He clearly could have been. He chose to go on vacation instead. He had months and months to figure out that when the signing was going to be. So it's pretty interesting to look at the ins and outs of that.
He wasn't there for that. He wasn't there for Lakers Media Day. He skipped that. He did not text or call DeAndre Ayton when he was traded for. Who's his new center? That's his new center. That's not a leader. At least say, hey, guy, welcome to Lakers or something, And then the one thing he did do, though, is he did call and text Luka when he got his big deal. He did do that. So, he's got a good enough relationship with him that happened. But a lot of the other stuff, he's just skipping, acting like he's about to leave.
Yeah.
So I guess we probably should go on record. What do you think, Robbie? Is this going to happen? Is he going to stay in LA for his last season? What's going to happen?
I'm not sure if he's going to Dallas, but I could see him leaving LA.
Could he maybe go to the Knicks? Some people have talked about that might be a nice fit there.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good year last year. Maybe go play in New York for a season. Madison Square Garden. I still feel that it's too complicated and teams are pretty locked in now. He's kind of waited too late. And I personally think this is too complicated. They'd have to give up multiple picks and also take on a $60 million salary. So I think he's going to end up in LA, and I think it'll be under semi-protest. I really do.
Yeah.
And he's going to end up playing with Luka and Ayton, and Bronny will get some playing time. So that's my feeling on what's going to happen. I know he wants to go to the Mavericks, but I don't think it's going to happen. We'll be watching it very carefully to see if he's on the move or not. They got to make a decision here in about a week.
It'll be some good drama.
Well, so this is pretty interesting. This guy said, he said, Micah Parsons requests a trade. Shannon Sharp gets fired by ESPN. Gilbert Arenas gets arrested. Terry McLaurin requests a trade. ESPN acquires NFL Network, all while in the darn mountains on vacation. So this guy's like, so much happens in one weekend. It's insane. Like you can't go on a hike,
or the beach.
Or the beach, yeah. So this is pretty cool. Bryce Young is the combination of Steph Curry plus Joe Burrow. That's what Don Orlovsky said.
Yeah.
Do you think he's earned that kind of praise? I mean, I really like how he looked last year, but that's a little bit one of the great
hyperbole.
Steph Curry plus Joe Burrow. Man, I hope so. As a Panther fan, I hope so. But I haven't seen that yet.
It's hard to say that's pretty big accolades.
I did see in those last 6 games last year, he is a baller. There's no doubt he's a baller. He's shown that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure first year. I really wasn't. I thought he was going to be a bust. but he showed some really nice things last year. This was pretty cool. In his practices so far, Travis Hunter has taken 36 snaps on offense, 47 on defense. It looks like to me they're really working to get him ready for both sides of the ball, which I really wasn't sure about. So do you think that's going to be a reality? You think they're going to use him in all those different ways?
Yeah, I do. And it takes time to learn it all. And you really needed to concentrate. Early on, he was very much one side of the ball. But I think they're definitely getting him ready.
So he's got to learn 2 playbooks.
Yeah.
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 And, he's young enough to do this. You have to think about 5 years into the league, he'll have to specialize, I would think.
I don't
know. For his body purposes.
I'm not sure about that. He might be a unicorn,
One of those unique athletes who can do it. Mm-hmm. Like a Bo Jackson or something.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited about him, man. I cannot wait to watch him play this year.
Same.
So this was interesting, the statement the NFL put out, deeply grateful to the global outpouring of support following the tragic act of violence at the New York City building that houses our league office. Of course, you had that guy walk in with a modified rifle and shoot a bunch of people thinking he was shooting NFL employees. And so it was pretty cool that they put out this statement, and also talking about the heroism of the New York City Police Department and this guy who lost his life for the police. So thoughts about that whole situation, the NFL? I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, there were a lot of questions that go along with that. I guess he got on the wrong elevator and on. But I think ultimately you really have to look and see that as a miracle that could have been much, much worse. But clearly a lot of evil was there that day. And the families that got destroyed it's so tragic. But really could have been worse. Thank goodness that there was some control to it after it kind of got rolling.
Apparently in week 1, they're going to be doing some, stuff over the intercom where they're going to be highlighting these people that lost their lives, these 4 innocent lives, including the NYPD officer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I mean, again, the NFL must be shaken to their core, because easily this guy could have gotten off on their floor. And it could have been a very tough situation with Roger Goodell and his team. So these are the candidates this year for the Hall of Fame. Pretty cool. These are the ones that got nominated. You got Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Frank Gore, Julian Edelman, Greg Olson, huge fan of his from the Panthers, LaShawn McCoy, Dez Bryant, Maurice Pouncey, Phillip Rivers, Gostkowski, and Geno Atkins. Man, those are some great players, Robbie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody on the list who doesn't deserve it, I don't think. What do you think? How do these guys make these decisions?
It's all just the most deserving, I guess.
I mean, if you're down to Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald, how do you choose that? Like, they're both.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you could pick 3, how would you pick 3? And I don't know. It'd be hard.
What are you going to deny Jason Witten? You know what I mean? It's just, you're going to deny Greg Olson? I don't know.
Yeah.
Steve Smith has been nominated 3 times and hadn't gotten it yet. So you can be deserving and not get it because there's just so many good players. Gostkowski is maybe the only guy on here that I never really thought was necessarily a Hall of Famer. Edelman. You think Edelman gets in? He might be kind of right on the edge.
I don't know about Edelman.
I'm not sure he gets in. I think Dez Bryant probably does. Pouncey probably does. Rivers, I think, will. But he may be right on the edge. Didn't win a Super Bowl. So I don't know. I don't know how you make the decisions here, but pretty good class, I think. We'll see. I think they're going to nominate 3 or 4 out of this group. So
yeah,
you'll have some guys who are disappointed. So this is pretty interesting to look back at the trade. Of course, Matthew Stafford goes to the Rams. The Lions got Jared Goff, several first-round picks. They turned those picks into Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Broderick Martin, Jamison Williams, Josh Paschal, and Mele Fornu. So all these starters came out of one player. So do you think this was good for both teams? I mean, to me, Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford with the Rams and they win the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, they sacrificed a little bit of their future to go win it all. And
but one of the reasons the Lions have one of the top 3 rosters in football is because of this trade. So
yeah,
I mean, this is incredible what they did with these picks. If you think about
no
it,
question.
they built a whole squad. So it's really cool to watch some of these trades in hindsight a couple of years later, see what happened.
Yeah, it is.
So this is pretty cool. I don't care where you get drafted. Once you walk into my room, you start at 0. And I love when coaches talk like that because that's basically these guys have got to get rid of their egos. If the ego walks in the door, then you don't have a player you can work with. So thoughts on Andy Reid and his approach?
Just a genius coach. Great coach. He's a good man. Seems like.
Where do you put him in the all-time pantheon of NFL coaches? Like top five?
Top 5.
I think he has to be. With his record now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I love when coaches talk like that. Preseason poll in the ACC. This is just a little preview for what we're going to talk about later in the week. Preseason poll is Clemson 1, Miami 2, SMU 3. They had that surprising year last year, really good year. Georgia Tech 4, Louisville 5, Duke 6, Florida State 7, North Carolina 8, Pitt 9, NC State 10, Virginia Tech 11, Syracuse 12, Boston College 13, Virginia 14, Cal 15, Wake Forest 16, and Stanford 17 or last. Anything you got here in terms of a problem with these rankings and how they have them ranked right now? ACC football?
I would move NC State up a little bit.
I think so too. They're going to beat Pitt. They'll probably beat Carolina.
The rest is just kind of the way it is.
Yeah. Duke's pretty darn good though.
Yeah.
And Louisville's been surprisingly good the last couple of years. Although they did lose Tyler Slow.
Mm-hmm.
You think Virginia can get a little bit up from here? Any chance we can get up to 10?
It's possible, but I don't know. The recruiting is tough.
Yeah. Georgia Tech at 4 really surprised me. I mean, I think they're improving, but I don't think I quite put them at 4. I put them down 7 or 8 probably. You think Clemson's going to win this division pretty easily this year?
Probably.
And go to the college football playoff? Yeah. I have a feeling they're going to have a kind of a rebound year and be really good.
I think so. They have some stability at quarterback.
They got this running back kid. He's going to be great. We're going to talk about him in a second. This was interesting. I think Garrett Nussberger is the best QB in the entire country.
Yeah, I've heard that a few places.
There was a couple people that were talking him into coming back because he was thinking about going into the draft, and they said, look, if you come back, you'll be number 1 pick, and you might take LSU to a championship. Mm-hmm. That must be what he was thinking. And, of course, they get NIL, these really top quarterbacks. So,
yeah.
Thoughts about Nussberger? Is he going to have a great year?
I think so. LSU's always got the wide receivers and skill position players, and they reload every year and they do a good job. But I don't have that much doubt that they'll be pretty solid. SEC's tough.
He was good last year. I just didn't really get a chance to see him play very much. So I'm actually excited to see him play this year.
Yeah.
I want to see how good he is. This was pretty fun to see. LeBron said, I wear 23 because of MJ. So I was like, so does that just solidify the GOAT debate right there? I mean, I think it does, right? I mean, he's wearing his number.
Well, he could say he came first, so that's not saying he's better, just saying he's first.
I don't know. I think for me, it's solidifies it.
I line up with you on that debate. I'm just saying, in his mind, he's not saying, everyone saying that whatever. Like, he's not saying that he's not better. What he's saying is he came first. Therefore, I emulated that because he started something.
It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing. Yeah.
It's a respect thing. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I know it's going to cause some angst among some of our watchers, and I'm sure you guys all have your own opinions. But
yeah,
for me, this kind of solidifies it for me what the debate is. So this is pretty cool. Clemson's new running back. He's actually a fourth-year wide receiver and can also come out of the backfield. So he's kind of like a Deebo Samuel type. They say he's built like Derrick Henry, but he's much faster. His name's Adam Randall.
Built like Derrick Henry.
So they're saying to really watch this kid. Like, he might even get up into like the Heisman conversation. Like, he's that much of a weapon.
Wow.
Built like Derrick Henry, but faster. He's going to be coming out of the backfield, and he's going to be lining up a wide receiver. So what are your thoughts about this kid, Adam Randall?
That's a special player.
Yeah. He's really unique in that he stayed with Clemson all those years as a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, waited his time. He's gotten some catches here and there. Had 21 catches last year, but he's been waiting, and now he's the featured receiver, feature back. So he'll be kind of experienced and hungry,
Yeah.
I think pound for pound, he's the most athletic dude in the league. That's what Steph Curry says about Ja Morant. What do you think about Ja as the most athletic dude?
Yeah, he's pretty tough, he dunks really well.
I think he might be the most athletic guy. My problem with him is that when he gets into the playoffs where you actually need a jump shot, he can't shoot. He's just not a good shooter.
Yeah.
That's my problem with Ja Morant.
I agree.
He gets into the time when crunch time when they really need him in a big series and kind of disappears. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, athletically, fantastic. This was pretty cool. Luka Doncic credits pickleball for his weight loss this summer. He's dropped a lot of weight. He's gotten in really good shape. He's been lifting weights, but he played pickleball almost every day all summer. And he says that this is a big part of his turnaround physically as an athlete.
It's interesting.
How cool is that?
I like it.
He's out there playing every day.
Yeah.
Helps with his agility, helps with his calories.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he's going to be a little slimmed down this year. He's going to play a little bit better. I don't know if it's going to help him with his defense, but at least he knows what his issue is.
Quicker.
Yeah, he's going to be quicker, and he knows his issues that he got a little bit overweight last year.
Yeah.
Charlie Woods, look at this round he put up the other day in round 2 of the Junior PGA Championship. He shot a 66. I mean, Rob, this guy's 14 years old and he's shooting 66.
I know. It's amazing.
So what do you think this kid can do? Do you think Tiger's going to leave him alone and kind of be able to, blaze his own trail?
Tiger should step back a bit, turn him over to a coach, all that. But it kind of reminds me of Tiger when he was young.
I mean, he even kind of looks like him, and he has kind of that killer instinct already.
Yeah.
And he's played a bunch of tournaments with his dad, so he's kind of learned to win. And I don't know. Yeah. This is going to be pretty exciting. 14 years old, he can go pro in 3 years.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, can you imagine starting out a young Tiger version at the beginning of his career, and you can kind of extrapolate out how good.
What do you think it does? What do you think it does for golf if he's in contention in almost every tournament when he's like 18? I mean, I think
unbelievable.
The ratings go through the roof.
Yeah.
And Tiger's standing at 18 waiting on his son to come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good for golf.
It's cool, yeah.
All right, let's go for our subscriber challenge of the week, guys. 2-part question. Will Micah Parsons play for the Cowboys this year? And that's a great picture of him strip sacking Patrick Mahomes. So, Robbie?
Yes or no? I think yes. He's going to play for the Cowboys.
Yes. Okay.
Because I don't think the interest is going to be there to give up what they're going to need to trade with Jerry Jones. So he's gonna go on and sign him.
Completely agree. I say yes. I think this is all a negotiating tactic. I think that a lot of this has been played out in the media. It should not have been. I think that Jones always mishandles things, and he did this one maybe worse than all the others. Totally mishandled, but they're going to end up getting it resolved here in the next week or two, I think. We'll see.
Yeah, I think Jones is really not very adept at these contract negotiations and the strategies involved.
And then he comes out and he's so prickly. He comes out to the media and he makes it even worse because he has these answers that are so bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, he really needs to hire a GM.
If you're a fan, you're just pulling your hair out,
just cringing. All right, guys, drop us a comment. Is Micah going to play for the Cowboys this year? So the next one is, will Terry McLaurin play for the Commanders this year? Great catch there over a Cowboy.
I don't know. I'm going to say 50-50.
I say yes. I think the Commanders will wake up to their senses, find a way to structure a deal, and he's going to come back and play with Jaden Daniels.
I hope so.
I say yes. I think same thing. I don't think teams are going to have any reason to want to ship off a bunch of picks to the Commanders. I may be wrong, but I think he plays for the Commanders. The Commanders are close, and he's a big part of the core. So guys, drop us a comment. All right, before I hand it to you, Robbie, Metallica planning their Las Vegas Sphere residency. So if this happens, we've got to go, and we got to go with earplugs.
It's funny you say that because I saw the video of the Backstreet Boys in the Sphere, and I was so blown away by the graphics of. There's this incredible montage of things up on the Sphere of a spaceship, really ornate, intricate, and then it shows you going into the spaceship and then launching into space and being up there and then watching the Backstreet Boys come out, who I'm not a fan of them, but it was just a really cool presentation. And I remember thinking, if the Backstreet Boys can bring it that hard in the Sphere, imagine what Metallica could do. So
the Sphere is not just a concert; it's a full immersion.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it is.
So I think we got to go for your birthday if this does happen.
That'd be fun. That'd be cool. Cool. Well, let's see. Mailbag. Let's do the mailbag. First one. Can't wait to see these rookies in action at Frank Lopez. That was our NFL training camp episode.
Great. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, we can't wait too. And we're starting to see some of them in action a little bit in practice, and some of them are really impressing. So keep watching.
Thanks for taking the time, Frank. We definitely are excited to see these young players and how they can learn the craft and take it to the next level with such good athletes guarding them and all that. But it's going to be really fun. Cool. Next one. Great breakdown on the QB competitions. Mary Walker. Great breakdown on the QB competitions.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, we do our best to break down the information. We put the research together for you guys, and we try to give you the best analysis we can. So thanks for the comment.
Yeah, thank you. Next one. Every episode feels better than the last. At Laura Roberts.
Thanks, Laura.
NFL training camp ones.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We're trying.
Great comment. Yeah, we appreciate it.
I do think we're getting our arms around the content decently, and there's a lot of room for us to continue to push the envelope, but we're happy. Next one is about our Target Sports episode. This series keeps getting better and better. Jesse Franklin.
Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, we try our best to do these series and do an episode every 6 to 8 weeks, and we had a great Target Sports 1, and we put this Target Sports 2 together, and glad you enjoyed it. You can see this great picture of Rob with his target right behind him. So
Yeah, Tom, as you know, if you're just joining us for one of the first times, he always picks out a silly picture of me, and usually I'm mid-sentence or I'm doing something that I look startled, and it's funny. But yeah, we like Target Sports a lot. We like all kinds of sports. We try to bring fresh content, things we're not seeing everywhere else. We do like to give you analysis of what we're thinking about what everyone else is saying. So sometimes uh, the common wisdom or the group think, we either join in it or we think that there's another way to look at it. But we do also try to bring fresh content where we're not hearing this stuff anywhere else. And so we try a mixture of all things, telling you what we think and also just how we're looking at the sports landscape and other things like travel and food and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
Last one. Love learning about the new Target sports I've never heard of at Matthew Chavez.
Hey, thanks, Matthew. Yeah, we like to bring new stuff to you, stuff that you haven't heard of. We have the whole Strange Sports series, the Target Sports series. So yeah, glad we can surprise you with a couple.
Yeah, and we love watching the Target sports. So it's very fun for us putting those together and discussing some of the ones we're going to bring up and then doing a little research on it. And then when we present it, it's fun because we get to watch those videos and they're usually pretty crazy.
No doubt.
And that is the mailbag this week.
Fantastic. Well, Robbie, a lot of stories hitting us right now from the NFL, from the NBA, and others. Anything you're really looking forward to as we head into 4 straight days of NFL preseason games?
Well, we're entering the dog days of August for baseball, and this is where teams tend to separate a little bit. They've made their trades, and the bad teams have unloaded a few good players. So next year they have good prospects. So it's just kind of how baseball deals with itself. So, but that's interesting where you start to see some separation if you haven't already. And then football camps ramping up it's so exciting. Almost every team thinks that they have a chance. So that's awesome. I love when there's parity. I love when teams like the Cardinals think they're going to be better this year and the Titans see a bright future and all that. So, and then, sprinkling some other sports, tennis and golf and other events over the last few weeks. It's good stuff. Summer's been pretty good.
It really is. It's interesting looking at some of the matchups from Thursday coming up. We got Ravens and Colts. Could be kind of interesting. Eagles and Bengals. And you got Raiders and Seahawks. So some interesting ones there. And what's interesting about Raiders and Seahawks, of course, is that Geno Smith was at the Seahawks and now he's at the Raiders. And of course, we're going to see Sam Darnold, who moved from Minnesota over to Seahawks. So interesting there. And then the next night, Friday night, we got my Carolina Panthers playing the Cleveland Browns. And you know that they're probably going to end up playing Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders in that game. So that'll be interesting. And then you've got the Commanders and playing the New England Patriots. So could be kind of interesting there. And then you've got the Dolphins playing on Saturday. So that'll be kind of cool to watch. And then Sunday night game is New Orleans Saints and the LA Chargers. So a nice bevy of 4
those are pretty nice matchups overall.
It'll be good. And usually, the first quarter is about all you really want to watch in game one. But
yeah, I like seeing the backup quarterback. How shaky do they look out there? How much does it look like the team's rallying around them? Is this the next Tom Brady coming out of the shadows and saving his team's season and all that?
You might see a lot of people watch that Browns-Panthers game because they're going to want to see these two rookies play. You might see a lot of people outside of, those two fan bases watch it. So,
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You got teams with all kinds of different storylines. Kirk Cousins, is he going to be satisfied sitting as a backup, getting paid really, really well? That's weird. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you deal him? I don't know if anyone will trade for him. So,
Are you going to get any veterans taking snaps in this first game? That'll be interesting to see.
yeah.
So, any other items you're looking forward to this week?
I think that's mostly it. Keep an eye on baseball.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, unfortunately, my Orioles are starting to fade a little bit, but
Yeah.
they just couldn't get it done this year.
Yep. They just got too many losses. They're just not. They're not really getting it done.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight for our weekend recap. A lot of great storylines we brought to you, and we'll bring you some more next week. And again, look for our college football previews coming up in a couple of days. We're looking forward to bringing that to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you guys so much for the patronage and for liking and subscribing and helping us build the channel. We can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you for continuing to join us, support us, giving us encouragement, comments. We have so much fun with it, and we hope it comes across. We definitely enjoy putting these things together, researching, we still do our calls every day on the way to work. So that hasn't changed at all. And I'm glad. I never want that to change. And then we come here and we do an extended version of what we do in the car. And we'll continue to do that. We're having a good time. So thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time on the Sports Guys. Have a great night.
See you soon.